Gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Cool, let's start seated. Soles of the feet come together. And this is a feet and legs practice. So sitting in butterfly, and you can bring the soles, bring the heels a little closer if that feels more comfortable. You can sit on something. I'm sitting on my little zafu here and just try and relax the knees out to the side. And you can take the hands out to the side, palms face up. Just roll the shoulders back and down, move the head and the neck, release the chin to the chest, and then find stillness as you breathe out. So we want the spine to be nice and long, firm yet relaxed. We're not rigid when we sit, and try to relax the toes, the ankles, the calves, the knees. Relax the thighs, let the hips breathe. And feel grounded as you are here. Feel the outer edges of your feet connecting. And feel the buttocks and the sit bones connecting to the earth. And listen to what your body is sharing with you today, how it feels. Anything that comes up, just take note. We don't need to criticize those messages. We need to listen, observe. And throughout January, we'll be focusing more on the anatomy of our bodies, really drawing inwards and being grateful and thankful for everything our bodies do for us. And each week we'll take a different section of the body. So today, strengthening toes, strengthening ankles, knees, and legs. Bringing us back to balance. Slow and steady breathing that comes all the way from the feet, legs, spine into the lungs. And as you breathe out, that breath travels back down towards the feet and toes. And repeating the affirmation to yourself 3 times. I am this body. I am this body. I am this body. Bringing movement back into the fingers, start to circle through the wrists, circle through the shoulders a couple of times, lift the knees together, and then just give yourself a little hug, belly, chest, down to the thighs. Relax the head and soften the neck. And then roll up. Let's take socks off because we are focusing on our feet today. So coming to tabletop, wrists are underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips, just sway from side to side. We're going to add a variation into our tabletop today. So we're going to tuck the toes, and that's for you the start of your cow. So you drop the belly, little arch through the spine, looking forward, press into the toe beds. When we come into cat, you're going to release to the tops of the feet and then draw up through the spine. Tuck the toes. Inhale for cow, exhale, release to the tops of the feet for cat. Twice more. Breathing in, breathing out. Last time, come back to neutral. Release the right foot back behind you. Press into the toe beds. You can keep a nice bend into the knee if you need to. Try to feel the long line all the way from the crown of the head right down through the hips back to the heel. Rock forwards and backwards here. So you're going to press into the toe beds, press back through the sole of the foot and the heel. Come up, roll it over, maybe onto the top of the foot. And then again, roll back through the toes. So you can come forward all the way and you can roll onto the tops of the feet and then push it back. Do that a few times. And then bring yourself back, change sides. Left foot goes back, press into the heel. Long line, lift up through the abdomen. And then rock it forward, roll onto the toes, and then press back. So if you've ever come from these connecting vinyasas where you roll over the toes, you'll know this is kind of warming up for that. So we have to be careful of our toes. There's about 32 joints in the entire foot, most of them within the toes themselves. And then release the knee back. Take the knees wide, big toes touch, and release back into your child's pose. Reach the hands forward, belly comes to the mat. Head might come to a block or to the mat. Breathe through the spine here. Try to relax through the tops of the feet and the ankles. If you struggle with child's pose, you can always place a blanket underneath the ankles or the thighs. Inhale to tabletop. Bring the knees together this time. Bring the feet together. Come back into kneeling. And then tucking the toes for a toe stretch. So bringing the toes all the way underneath you. The more weight that you bring back towards the heels, the more challenge that this posture will bring for you. So if it's too much into the toes, bring the body weight forward. Let's find some breaths here. Try to release as much weight into the toes as you can bear. A few more breaths. And then come forward, take time to recover, time to release the toes. Feel the response. And then you might wish to just lift the leg, wiggle out, wiggle the toes, lift the left, wiggle. This time ankle stretch. So again, come back, try not to let the ankles splay outwards, but keep drawing the ankles towards one another, underneath the buttocks. You might widen the knees just a little bit if you have any pressure into the kneecaps here, but you can start to lift the knees away from the mat. Again, try to keep those heels as much in line as you can. And again, the more weight you come back, the deeper that is into the ankles. Stretch, lifting the knees up. Breathe through any tightness that you might be experiencing in the tops of the feet or the ankle stretch itself. Good. And slowly release forward. And then bring the hands. You can sway out. And again, you can lift one leg. Just release the ankle circles. And the other. So this time we tuck the toes. We pull ourselves back to the back of the mat and try to release the heels as soon as we can. Some people have more flexible Achilles than I do, so your heels may come down quite quickly. If you've got 1 or 2 blocks handy, just bring those in front of you. So the feet are hip width apart. And when we talk about hip width, we mean the outer hip coming down to the outer side of your foot. Turn the heels out slightly. Middle toe faces forward. Lift up into your half forward bend. So a nice flat back. Make sure that you're drawing up the belly. You're not arching here or curling too much. You might need to come up onto the fingertips or the knuckles. Crown of the head reaches forward. Take a bend into the knees. So this time, cat and cow here. So lifting up the chest, flat feet, bent knees. When we come into the cat pose, we come up onto the tips of the toes, pushing the arches of the feet forward. And you can always straighten the legs. So release the heels, bend the knees. Come into your cat, looking forward, lifting sit bones, rounding, lifting up onto the tiptoes. Good. Release the heels, bend the knees. Cow pose. Lifting up, heels, tiptoes, rounding through shoulders and spine. Last time, release the heels, bend the knees, flat back, then into cow, looking forward, and then rounding, lifting up, pressing the arches towards the blocks. Release the heels nice and slowly. Feel the stretch through the back of your legs. Come into that full half lift. So spine is nice and long, crown of the head reaches away, hands might be on the block still, or you might bring them up to the thighs. Try to keep the weight into the toes rather than swaying back into the heels. Bring the weight forward so the hips are nicely in line over your heels. And then heel toe the feet out to to the wider edges of your mat. And then drop the hips, lengthen the spine, come into your Malasana squat. Use the elbows, widen the knees, and think about the feet here. Try not to let the knees and the feet roll inwards, but rather that they're rolling backwards. Lengthen the spine. Feel grounded through the feet. Whoop. Lengthen the sit bones down between the heels. Few more breaths. Lengthen spine. Crown of the head reaches upwards. Sit bones reach downwards. Let's reach the hands to the mat. Lift the hips, heel toe the feet back into parallel. And then hands are on the floor if you can. or onto the blocks. You can bend the knees if you need to. Feel the hands and the feet connecting, then start to lift the hips. Relax the head into your full fold. Feel grounded with the hands and the feet. Start to roll up through the spine. Bend the knees should you need. And come all the way into Tadasana. Okay, taking your blocks over to the side or to the front of your mat, because they'll be needed at the front in a minute. We're at the back for the time being. So we're going to start to get into the feet a little bit. So just pressing up through the toe beds again, releasing the heels, and then you switch, and then you switch. So you're lifting up each time you change the feet, getting a little bit faster. Good. And then maybe the foot comes off. And you can point the foot forward again through the arch. So you want to feel the toes, feel the ball of the feet, feel the sole and the heel coming down. Lift the knee up a little higher, get a little bit warmer. And slow it down. And come into stillness. Find Tadasana. Maybe the toes connect. Maybe the heels are slightly open or you are hip width. Find mountain pose each and every time we come back. Feel super grounded through the feet. Again, that breath travels from the feet through the legs, through the torso to the lungs. And the breath travels back to the feet. Let's come into a balance. Lift the arms up onto the tiptoes. Find the weight distribution nice and steady. Shoulders are above hips, hips are above ankles. We're going to bend the knees. We send the knees forward and we drop the hips to the heels. Lower, lower, lower. Slower, lower. Good. When you're down there, stay in balance. Keep the feet pressing forward, not out to the side. Press through the feet. Whoa, bring yourself back up. Once more, send the knees forward as you drop the hips to the heels. Good. And then press. Ooh, the quads. Ooh, the toes up onto the tiptoes. Good work, and release the heels. Ooh, come back to Tadasana. My quads were feeling that one second time around, I can tell you. All right, let's get our legs warm. So we're going to swing forward and backwards. This time the hip is slightly open, so you're pushing the inner edge of your foot forwards and backwards, okay? So right leg, you can hold on to something if you need to. So the hip is open and the body weight might transfer forwards and backwards. You're swinging the leg rather than kicking it. And then bring it back into center. So foot on the grounding, on the standing leg, foot faces forward. Other foot is hip open. Good. So try not to kick it too high. We're allowing it to swing. So it's just swinging like a pendulum. Yeah. Then bring it back into center. Good. This time it crosses over the body. So it crosses over and out to the side, over and out to the side. Okay. So make sure that you're not going to kick something. So again, you're just warming up through the hip. I keep kicking my plant. Sorry. Arms can come out to the side to help you balance, or you can hold on to something and change legs. So again, remember that the inside of your foot is the one that's kind of pushing forward. Yeah. Good. And then come back into stillness, find Tadasana. Take a few moments just to breathe, just to feel what it's like on both feet. And then let's come into first balance, which is tree pose. If anybody's seen my social this week, you'll see what's coming up. So tree pose, either on the ankle or the calf or up to the thigh. Press the foot against the thigh, thigh against the foot. Find your tree, 5 breaths, either arms into the heart or above the head. Close the eyes for additional challenge. Release the hands, release the foot. Come back to Tadasana, 2 feet down. Left side tree, ankle, calf, thigh. Hands into heart or above the head. Close the eyes for additional challenge, 5 breaths. Really work with the physical in all of these standing balances today. Release the hands, release the foot, both feet down, back into Tadasana, a couple of breaths. Second posture, eagle pose. So wrap right leg over, really connect those thighs. Maybe that foot wraps around the calf or it just comes down by the ankle. Right leg is on top, means left arm is on top. So bend through the supporting leg and keep the spine nice and long. Draw the abdomen in, lift the elbows, reach the fingers away. Holding for 5 breaths, find the drishti. Unravel the legs, unravel the arms, both feet down, couple of breaths. Tadasana. Left leg crosses over, Garudasana, eagle pose. Whoop. Left leg on top, right arm on top. Lift the elbows in line with the shoulders, bend the knees, lengthen spine, tailbone reaches down to the mat, fingertips reach up to the sky. Unravel the legs, unravel the arms. Tadasana, couple of breaths. Warrior 3. Stabilize through the right leg, lifting up the left. Arms may go out in front of you for additional challenge. Bending into the supporting leg should you need. Arms out to the side or back behind you. Turn the toes downwards to the mat and find that T shape. So you want to bring the chest downwards, not too far down, but in line with your hips. Crown of the head reaches forward and your gaze is at the front of your mat. Beautiful. 5 breaths. Find the strength to balance, focus. And then bring the leg back with control. Take it back into Tadasana, a couple of breaths. Warrior 3 tends to increase our heart rate. So really notice how much cardio tends to be involved. Stabilize through the left. We want to draw up those muscles above the knee. That's your strong part of your leg in a warrior. Push back through the heel. Open the arms out to the side or in front. Strong, controlled breath. Again, breathe into the feet. We want to be grounding through these balances. Oops. And with control, tilt the body back, bring the foot back, find Tadasana once more. Deep breath in, deep breath out to the feet. Last posture of this 4 is our warrior. So, right leg in front, left leg behind. Just take a look at your feet. See where your feet are in line with your mat. So, is the foot in line with your heel or is it in line with the arch? If you want to make warriors easier, bring the foot forward just a little bit. So, or you turn it 45 degrees. Arms raised, bend the front knee, drop the hips directly between the heels. 5 breaths here. Find the drishti along your middle finger. Really work with the physical of the posture. Think about your own alignment. Think about how you can improve the strength of the posture. Bend a little deeper into the front knee. Drop the hips just a little bit more. Oh, yes. And then straighten up through the legs and just turn the toes inwards and turn straight to the other side. So you might be facing the back. That's okay. You know your warrior 2. Raising the arms, bending through the front knee, dropping hips. Feeling grounded through the feet. And remember what we talked about, the rolling the outer edge of the foot away from you. That happens with the back foot in warrior 2. Really ground through the back foot. Back leg is straight. Bend a little deeper, front knee. Sink the hips a little bit more to the mat. And then slowly straighten up through the leg. Turn that front foot inwards. Hands come onto the hips so the heels are turned out. Toes are turned in and start to fold flat back, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat. Maybe widen the feet a little bit when you're there. And just bend the knees a little bit. Bend into the ankles, left and right. They don't have to be deep side squats. So you're just shifting weight from right to left. And then find stillness in the center and release down. So we want to walk the fingertips forward. Really stretch away. Bring the ears between the biceps. Nice flat back. Lift the abdomen. Strong spine. And keep the hips in line with the heels here so that you're not swaying back too much. So we're in kind of like a wide leg down dog. Arms might come down. Really press the chest back towards the thighs as you straighten through the spine, lifting the sit bones up towards the sky. Good. Feel the back of the legs. Maybe there's a soft bend into the knees, but remember, outer edges of the feet are rolling towards the sides of your mat. And then gently walk the hands back to the hips. Nice flat back. Press through the feet, engage. Bring yourself back up. Turn through the front foot and then step gently to the front of your mat. Find a Tadasana there. All right, let's introduce a little bit of flow. So breathing in, the arms raise, palms connect, and just lift up and back into your upward salute. So almost like a drop back, but not going back too far because we've not introduced any back bends at all. Push the pelvis forward, so you're going to feel the quads stretch and the hip flexors. And then bring yourself center as you breathe in, flat back, chest leads, full forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, hands come down, step back, right leg. Now find a low lunge here, dropping the knee down, but keep the toes tucked, and then bring the arms up. So from here, we're going to press through the toes to lift the knee off, and then lower 3 times, lowering the knee and straightening. Lower the knee and straighten. Lower the knee and straighten. Find a high lunge and balance. Press back through the toes, press back through the heel, drop the hips a little bit more, bend the front knee. Nice, good control. Reach long, stretch the body forward, so the chest and the belly are over the thigh, arms are reaching forward, pressing back through the back heel, long line, fingertips to toes. Hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Pedal out should you need, or just release both heels. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga, knees down, whichever your choice is. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Now, think about that transition back to down dog, rolling over the toes. So your tops of your feet are down. Maybe you roll back and you can start to roll over the toes rather than place. Takes a bit of work, that one. Find 3 breaths. Down dog. So we're putting all of those 4 together. Walking the hands back towards the feet. Find a fold. Roll up through the spine. We're going to come straight into tree on the right leg. Right leg comes to left thigh. Tree pose, 3 breaths. Moving through Garudasana, eagle pose. 3 breaths. Moving through to warrior 3. 3 breaths. Moving through to warrior 2, we're going to bring the leg into the chest. Give it a squeeze. And then gently place the foot, turning the back foot out, opening up into warrior 2. Ordinarily, I wouldn't do that transition, but we were at the back of the mat. Didn't have a lot of choice. Windmill the arms over, turn on the back foot. Belly, chest come down to thighs, fingertips. And then again, find your connecting vinyasa. Think about those toe rollovers. So back to down dog. Coming forward into plank. Chaturanga up dog choices. Or lower into cobra. So you're on the tops of the feet. You press back. And you can roll over the toes. Be careful. 3 breaths down dog. Walking the hands towards the feet. Bring the feet forward just a little bit. Exhale into a fold. Roll up through the spine. Bring that left leg straight up into your tree. Hands at heart or above the head. Moving through to Garudasana, crossing over the leg, crossing over arm. Moving through to Warrior 3. Think ankle strength, leg strength, glute strength. Use the core, bring the knee in towards the center as you hug. Nice straight spine. We're going to place that left foot in front and reposition your back foot. Sorry, my back's to you. Opening out, Warrior 2. Windmill the hands over. Frame the front foot as you turn onto the back toes. Press through the back foot. Hands come down to step back into down dog. Breathe out. Inhale into your plank. Find your connecting vinyasa. And remember, roll over the toes if you can. So pressing back. And then flip the toes over to your down dog. As I say, new transition possibly, one you might not be able to do just yet, but getting those toes a little bit more flexible. Stepping through with the right leg. Lower the knee down. Bring the arms up. Got our lunge. So we're going to press through the front foot, press through the back foot, lifting up into high lunge. Reposition 3 times. We lower the knee and press up. Lower the knee. Press up. Good. Lower the knee and press up. Find the high lunge. Press back through the heel. Straighten through the back leg if it feels comfortable. Bend the front knee. Drop the hips a little bit more. Strong ankles, feet here. Reach the arms forward. Long, 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 long line. Hands come down. We're going to step it forward. Breathe out. Forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms raise, bring you up to standing. And exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Woo! Legs working, huh? It's getting hot in here. Turn that heater down. All right, still working with a little bit through the legs. And then what time we got? We got some time yet. Good, good, good. All right, so stepping back, left leg turn the feet out. So goddess squats. We want to think the inner thighs are being drawn together every time that we're pressing through the feet and we're coming up. So arms go out to the side as we bend. Send the knees over the middle toe. If they don't meet the middle toe, then bring the feet inwards and do straight squats. Try to keep the shoulders in line with the hips. So each time we're bending down, we're not leaning forward, we're dropping straight down. Good. When we get down, next time, lift the right foot. Well, lift the right heel, lift the left heel. Keep the depth of your bend into the knees, lift, and then change. Right heel lifts, left heel lifts. Oh, yeah. Now both together. Oh. And release the heels, release the hips, turn the heels out. Take a fold. Give yourself a little shake, widen the feet. Right hand comes into the center, left hand comes to the spine. Take a nice little twist, go easy here. Maybe the top arm raises. Open up a little bit more through the side body if it feels comfortable. Good, feel grounded through the feet. Bring left arm down. Take hand to sacrum, take a twist. Opposite side, lifting the arm, palm faces the same way that you are. And bring yourself back into center. This time we're going to slide the feet out and get as close as you can into your box splits, okay? So the heels turn out and you slide out. So come down, use the hands. And then when you get there, whoa, bring yourself down, wide leg. Yeah. Sitting nice and tall. Let's walk the hands forward, feel really grounded through the legs, lifting up through the toes and fold forward. Maybe a flat back, folding from the hips. Yeah, sitting on something always helps. Try to keep grounded through the sit bones. Letting the body release. Toes pointing up towards the sky rather than pointing inwards. And slowly walk the hands back, bring yourself up to seated and lift the legs. Bring the soles of the feet in front of you. We're going to roll over onto the outer and inner ledges of the feet. So windscreen wiper, you just roll over, dropping the knee, feet stay where they are. So you're in a little twist. That's it. Then bring back, feet stay where they are. Roll over to the inner and outer edges, the opposite side. And then bring back into center, fire log pose, double pigeon. So making a little kind of square for yourself. If this is not accessible for you, then you can certainly use a block to support, or the underneath leg is out straight. So you're just working with one leg, okay? But what we want to try and achieve here is that we get both knees on top of one another. Well, so foot is on top of the knee and the knee is on top of the foot. Flexing both feet so that we're protecting the ankle. I sometimes use a block here, but after a couple of minutes or so in a yin practice, it seems to drop down just a little bit. So sit nice and tall. It's okay, feel what's going on in the outer hips, maybe screaming at you right now, but just close the eyes. Give yourself a little smile. All of the standing balance work's done. So we're still working with feet and legs. Holding for a few more breaths. The longer we hold, the easier it becomes. Sitting tall, firm yet relaxed posture. Oh, hi. Come to fire log. Hello. I'm here. Hi. Oh, it's much better when you have a cat distracting your attention from a double pigeon. And gently, release. Send the legs out in front of you. Forward fold this time. So draw the toes up towards the sky. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Inhale the arms up. Fold from the hips. Nice flat back. Keeping the chest nice and open. Maybe the hands come down to take hold of the toes and you open up spine. Try to breathe through the back of your legs here. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Yeah. If you're not taking hold of the toes, you can always use a strap. You know, this is the best place you could be. Indy, what you doing? Come on. Hello. You want food? Deeper breath out. Give yourself a wiggle. Hold a little bit more. Breathe through the feet, the legs. Good. And start to release, bring yourself up. Yes, fire log on the opposite side. So this time, bringing the foot over. Again, if this is not accessible, straightening the underneath leg and just working with one. This is my worst side. Keeping that flexion through the feet and ankles. And try and relax that knee. Just let it fall nice and peacefully with gravity. Sitting upright. You can always add a little bit of weight with the arm. This definitely targets the inner groin, outer hips. Slow, steady breaths, breathing from feet to lungs, lungs to feet. And then gently lift and release. Take the legs out in front of you and just give them a little bit of space. Take the arms underneath and just rest the belly, the chest over the thighs. Roll the shoulders back and down. Let the head release between the knees. Roll up through the spine. Let's come to frog, swinging the legs around. If you're on a hard surface, you might want to double up the mat underneath your knees. So bringing the knees nice and wide. You've got a 90-degree bend at the knee, back of the knee and at the ankle. Maybe resting on a bolster or the head on blocks, but just drop the weight down towards the mat. Just rock forwards and backwards a little bit so that you can find and gauge where that point of resistance comes. And then find that to hold. Find stillness. Let's take 10 breaths. Lift up through the abdomen. Try not to arch through the lower back at all. It's easy to drop the belly so much that you're arching through the spine, but you really want to drop the pelvis. Good. Think about the toes turning forwards and the soles of the feet pressing back. The inner edges of your feet are grounded. The knees are sliding and releasing out, and the hips are getting lower with each breath you take. Rock forwards, bring the feet together, roll yourself back and use the hands, and then just bring yourself back up into kneeling. Take a moment. So hero pose. You can use a bolster behind you or a block underneath the sit bones if you prefer. Lift the calves up and away from the thighs. Bring the knees together. And then just use the hands to just press into the toes and the feet so that you're slightly grounding the tops of the feet once more. Sitting nice and tall, you can stay here, of course, or you can take away your blocks and release the sit bones down to the ground. And maybe you do come back further into your hero, connecting the hands to the feet, lengthening those knees forward, breathing into the thighs. Good. You might have a bolster behind you to rest on or come all the way to the mat. Breathe into tight areas of the quadriceps. We're trying to strengthen the knees in flexion. But if you do feel any pain at all, please do come out and do one leg at a time. So one leg is out straight. Coming out when you're ready, lifting the head, looking along the body, bringing up onto the elbows, the hands, and then coming back up into kneeling and sitting nice and tall. So let's swing the legs around in front of us. Ground through the soles of the feet. Get your block, if you have it by the side of you, in between the thighs. Let's take a teepee twist. So arm comes over the knee and open up to the side. Feel grounded through the feet here. Keep the knees and the hips in alignment. It's just the torso that is turning. Again, the spine is firm, yet relaxed in the twist. You're breathing out to deepen the rotation, breathing in to lengthen. Squeeze the block together, or make sure that the knees aren't going skew-if. Yeah. And bring yourself back in through center. Exhale, swap sides, arm crosses over, hand comes back behind you. And if the neck allows you to look back over that shoulder, then fine, or you can always look forward. Again, making sure, because the block just keeps those knees in place, that when we do the twist, the knees aren't twisting as well. Must be really windy outside. My wind chimes are going crazy out there. And bring yourself back in through center. Keep the block between your legs and start to roll down through the spine. Maybe releasing the lower back, middle back, upper back and shoulders. And keeping the block where it is, bring the heels in just a little bit closer to the body. So coming into bridge pose, so pressing through the feet and the palms, lifting up the knees. If you've got the block still there, that's great. If not, it's okay. Try to keep the knees hip width apart. Lifting hips up a little bit more, grounding through shoulders, palms, back of head and feet. Slowly roll down shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. Release the block, draw the knees in, roll and massage out through the spine. Lengthen the left leg along the mat. Keep the right knee in towards the chest. Nice squeeze here as you hug the knee in towards the shoulder. And then come into reclined tree pose. So opening up the hip and placing that right foot, just resting it by the thigh. It doesn't have to press against the thigh as we would do in standing, but engage the left supporting leg. So relax the right hip and then bring the arms up above the head. Try not to flare the rib cage. Soften through the rib cage, draw the shoulder blades down, draw the belly down towards the spine. Hold for a few breaths here, reclined tree. Try to just relax into the glute of the right leg. Release the arms by the side, lift the right leg. It crosses over the left in your eagle legs. Maybe you double wrap. Lifting the arms out to the side, we're going to take the twist. So right knee comes over to the left side. Let the knees drop as much as you can here. Inhale, use the core, bring back into center, unravel the legs, keep the left leg long, right leg, press through the sole of the foot, warrior three reclined. So press through both soles of the feet as if you've got somebody balancing on your right leg. The leg is so strong. And the underneath leg is strong. Draw the belly downwards, draw the lower back down. Arms might be out to the side or by the side of the body or up above the head. With control, lower that right leg all the way to the mat. You're still pushing through the heel. Toes are turning up towards the shin. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower that right leg. Release the hands down by the side of the body. Relax everything. Breathe out into Shavasana. Right leg stays long, left leg bends, and you hug in. Draw the knee towards the left shoulder. Engage the right leg. Draw the toes back towards the shin. Reclined tree. Place the sole of the foot just gently by the thigh or the knee or the calf. Relax the glute, relax the leg. Arms out to the side or above the head. Try not to flare the rib cage too much, but draw the rib cage down so that you're spreading the shoulder blades underneath you, drawing the belly and the back down. Imagine if you were standing here. Arms sweep down by the side, lifting the left leg, crossing it over, maybe taking the double wrap for the eagle legs, and then rolling over onto your right hip as those knees come down to the mat. Inhale, use the core, bring you back into center, unravel the legs. Right leg presses away to the mat, left leg presses to the sky. Again, arms out to the side or by the side of the body or above the head. And again, think that you've got somebody resting on that lifted left foot. Draw the abdomen down to the spine, draw the spine down to the mat, spreading the back, feeling grounded through the spine. Both legs are engaged, muscles are being used and contracted, and slowly, with control, use that leg to lower down to the mat. Keep the abdominals engaged here to keep that low leg moving slowly. And relax for a moment in Shavasana. Let everything release. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out. Happy baby. Knees go wide. This would be your Malasana squat, so you can take hold of the outer edges of your feet, the ankles or the calves, and just keep a 90-degree bend again into the back of the knees, into the ankles here. You're keeping the thighs really wide of the rib cage and the waist. And again, the soles of the feet are pressing up to the sky as you lengthen the tailbone down the mat. Try to breathe into those tight areas of the hips or the inner thighs and groin. And if you wish to, you can extend the legs from the knee. Try to keep the thighs where they are. Keep hold of the feet. See how far you get before it becomes too much to stretch. So you're keeping the tailbone down and the legs go nice and wide. This would be your wide-legged forward fold or your box splits or your wide, standing wide leg forward fold as well. And then bend at the knee, bring the heels in towards the center, place them down into butterfly, open the hips and relax. take the hands up onto the hips. Just feel the warmth of the hands here. And take a few breaths. And we're going to come into Shavasana in a moment. So just notice now how the feet feel. Toes particularly have taken a little bit of a working today. The ankles have been really engaged and strong for standing balances. The knees have been put through their paces in those standing balances and bends, and also the hips, hamstrings, quads, calves, all have been worked today. And then hands go to the thighs, lift the knees in towards one another, draw the knees in towards the chest, roll and massage out. Take as long as you need here to get ready for Shavasana. Get warm. Socks, bolsters, eye pillows, blankets. And as you now come back to lying down on your back in Shavasana, making sure that you are comfortable so that you can remain still through your relaxation. And just allowing now everything to soften, everything to relax and release. There's no need to hold any further tension, any muscle contraction in the body. And when we come to our mat, there are so many things that we can be doing, so many things that we can be thinking about, we can bring into our practice. There's the pranayama, the breath work. There's the dharana and the dhyana, the focus and concentration and meditation. There is the asana, which is the physical postures. There is the subtle energies, the nadi lines, the vayus, the chakras. So there's so many things that we could be thinking about. But the most important thing is that we honor and respect our body. It's never a competition. We're not competing against anybody. We're only improving ourselves when we come to the mat. But everybody else will find the benefits as well as you. And you are about to go on a journey. It is a journey through the layers of your own self. It is a journey through your life, through the worlds within and around you. It begins here, in your own body, and it begins now. Wherever you are, it is your own personal quest. You have been provided a vehicle in which to take this journey. It is your body. It is equipped with everything you might need. And one of your challenges on this journey is to keep your vehicle nourished, happy, and in good repair. It is the only one you will be given. So we begin our journey by exploring our vehicle. Take a moment to feel your body. Feel it breathing in and out. Feel your heart beating inside. Feel the moisture in your mouth, the sensation of cloth on your skin, and the weight of your body on the floor beneath you. Explore the space your body occupies, the width, the length, the weight. Find the front and the back, the top, the bottom, and the sides. and begin a dialogue with your body so that you may learn its language, and ask your body how it feels. Listen to the answer it gives you and ask it, how does it feel about going on this journey with you? Beginning to deepen your breath as you breathe in from the feet, the legs, up to the lungs. And slowly breathe out from the lungs to the legs to the feet. Bringing soft and gentle movement back to the feet, ankles, and hands. And taking time to do what you need to as you awaken from Shavasana, awaken your body. And taking time to stretch or draw the knees in as you roll over to one side and return up to a comfortable seat. Sitting nice and tall, hands come into the heart center. And just taking a few steady breaths here, just taking note of those messages that the body sends you every second. Maybe you found some challenge from the feet and legs practice today, but how did you and your body respond? How did it react? It happens each and every day in our daily lives when challenges we are facing. It's how we respond and react when we get through and we face those challenges. Same goes for being on our mat and remembering always to thank your body. And the affirmation, I am this body. And I give thanks to you. Namaste.